All right, so you're thinking about making some extra cash online,
Hmm.
and you've heard about this whole website and app testing thing,
Yeah.
but you're not really sure what it is or how it works.
Right.
We're going to break down how it all works, how much you can actually earn, and give you some insider tips that can really help you level up your game.
Yeah. You know what's really interesting about this
Hmm.
is that you're not just clicking buttons.
Yeah.
You're actually providing valuable insights
Okay.
that companies are willing to pay for.
Interesting.
So think of it like this. You're a consultant,
Okay.
but for the digital world.
Okay, so walk me through this.
Right.
Why would companies pay for my opinion on their website or their app?
Well, because in the online world, user experience is everything.
Mm.
A clunky website or a frustrating app can mean lost customers
Right.
and lost revenue.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Companies need to know what works, what doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
and how to make their digital products as user-friendly as possible.
So they're basically paying us to be guinea pigs, to point out the things that make us go, why is this so hard to use?
Exactly. Think about the last time you were trying to buy something online,
Yeah.
and the checkout process was just a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
You probably abandoned your cart and went to a competitor, right?
For sure.
That's exactly what companies want to avoid.
Right.
And they're willing to pay for feedback that can help them prevent those kinds of user experience disasters.
Okay, so I'm seeing the value here,
Yeah.
but how do I actually get started with this whole testing gig?
Well, first things first, you need to sign up for a testing platform.
Okay.
There are several reputable ones out there,
Mm-hmm.
like User Testing, Try Me UI, TestBirds.
Sure.
These platforms act as matchmakers,
Right.
connecting you with companies who are looking for feedback.
So it's kind of like a dating app, but for website and app testing.
That's a pretty good analogy.
I like it.
You create a profile,
Okay.
highlight your interests, your tech experience,
Right.
and the platform will try to match you up with relevant testing opportunities.
Okay, so I create my profile, and then what do I just sit back and wait for the testing invitations to roll in?
Well, not quite. It's important to understand that companies are looking for specific demographics
Okay,
and experiences for each test.
got it.
They might need feedback from people who live in a certain region,
Right.
who use a specific type of device,
Hmm.
or who have experience with a particular type of software.
So it's not just about signing up and waiting for the magic to happen. I
Yeah.
need to be strategic about the information I put on my profile and the types of tests I apply for.
Precisely.
Okay,
And that brings us to another important point,
okay,
qualification tests.
okay. What are those, some sort of super secret testing society initiation ritual?
Not quite. These are like mini tasks
Okay,
that show the companies that you can give clear, helpful feedback.
okay,
Think of them like a preview of your testing skills,
got it.
demonstrating that you can articulate your thoughts
Okay.
and provide actionable insights.
So I'm showcasing my testing prowess.
Right.
I'm proving that I'm not just clicking buttons randomly.
Exactly. You're showing them that you understand user experience
Mhm.
and that you can provide the kind of detailed, insightful feedback that they're looking for.
All right, so let's fast forward a bit. I aced my qualification tests.
Okay.
I'm getting matched with cool testing opportunities.
I see.
But now the burning question, how much can I actually make doing this? Is this going to fund my early retirement?
Well, let's manage those expectations a bit.
Okay.
While website and app testing can be a fun and flexible way to earn extra income,
Okay.
it's probably not going to replace your day job, at least not initially.
Right.
The amount you can earn varies,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the platform, the complexity of the test, and the time commitment involved.
Okay.
Some tests might only take 15, 20 minutes and pay $10, while others could be more involved.
Right.
Require screen recordings and verbal feedback and pay upwards of $100.
So it's not a get-rich-quick scheme,
Right.
but it could definitely be a nice little side hustle to boost my income, especially if I'm strategic about the tests I choose
Right?
and the platforms I use.
Exactly. Now, while earning potential is exciting, let's also talk about maximizing your success in this arena.
Okay.
Really turning those opinions into consistent earnings.
All right, spill the beans.
All right.
What are the insider tips, the secrets to becoming a top-tier website and app tester?
One of the most valuable things you can do
Mm-hmm.
is focus on the quality of your feedback.
Okay.
It's not enough to just say, I like this or I don't like that.
Yeah.
You need to provide specific, detailed explanations
Okay.
that help the companies understand why something works or doesn't work.
So I need to channel my inner tech critic
Yeah.
and provide constructive feedback that goes beyond just this is good or this is bad.
Precisely. Imagine you're writing a review for a restaurant.
Okay.
You wouldn't just say the food was good, right?
Yeah.
You describe the flavors, the presentation, the
Yeah.
ambiance, the service.
Yeah,
The same applies to website and app testing.
Okay.
You need to paint a picture with your words,
got it.
highlighting both the positive aspects
Mhm.
and areas for improvement.
Okay. I'm starting to see the art form here.
Yeah.
It's not just about clicking buttons.
Right.
It's about providing feedback that's insightful, actionable, and maybe even a little bit poetic.
You got another key tip is to stay engaged with the platforms.
Okay.
The more active you are, the more likely you are to get matched with relevant tests
Okay.
and build a reputation as a reliable tester. Companies are looking for testers who are consistent,
Mm-hmm.
who provide quality feedback,
Right.
and who are genuinely interested in helping them improve their products.
Okay. I'm feeling pumped.
Good.
But before we get too carried away with dreams of passive income and early retirement, let's talk about the not so glamorous side of things.
Okay.
What are some challenges or things to watch out for in this website and app testing world?
Well, one thing to keep in mind is that you won't qualify for every test.
Okay.
Companies are looking for specific demographics and experiences.
Right.
So sometimes you might not be the right fit.
So don't take it personally if you don't get selected for every single test that pops up.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that income can fluctuate.
Okay.
Some weeks you might have a lot of tests available, while others might be slower.
So it's a good idea to have a buffer,
Yeah.
especially if I'm relying on this income for something specific.
Right. And finally, always make sure you understand the payment terms for each platform.
Okay.
Some pay weekly, some pay monthly, and some have minimum thresholds you need to reach before you can cash out.
Okay.
Transparency is key.
All right. So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We talked about what website and app testing is, why companies do it, how to get started,
Yeah.
some pro tips for success, and even a few things to watch out for.
Right?
But before we move on,
Okay.
I have one more question for you.
Let's hear it.
Knowing what you know about this industry, what are some of the most common mistakes people make when they first start out with website and app testing?
That's a great question.
What should our listeners avoid doing?
One of the biggest mistakes I see is people rushing through the tests
Okay.
just to get them done quickly.
Right.
Remember, quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Companies are looking for thoughtful feedback, not just a quick click-through.
So don't just skim the instructions and jump into the test.
Right.
Take my time, understand what's being asked,
Yeah,
and provide detailed, helpful feedback.
exactly. Another common mistake is not paying attention to the details.
Oh.
Make sure you read the instructions carefully and follow them closely.
Got it.
Companies are looking for testers who can follow directions and provide accurate information.
It's like taking a test in school.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just skip over the questions and write random answers.
Right.
You'd read each question carefully and do your best to answer it correctly.
Precisely. And lastly, I'd say another mistake is not being proactive.
Okay.
Don't just wait for test invitations to come to you.
Right.
Go out there and browse the available tests on the platforms. See what interests you and apply for them.
Okay.
The more active you are, the more likely you are to get chosen.
So don't be afraid to put myself out there and show these companies what I've got.
Exactly. It's a competitive landscape out there. So you need to stand out from the crowd and showcase your skills.
All right, that's some solid advice. I'm already feeling more confident about navigating this whole website and app testing world.
Good.
Now, I know we've only just scratched the surface here,
Yeah.
and there's a lot more to uncover.
Right.
But for now, let's take a little breather
Okay.
and come back ready to delve even deeper into this exciting opportunity.
Sounds good to me. Welcome back. We just dove into what website and app testing is all about, but now let's shift gears and explore what sets those truly successful testers apart. You know, it's more than just having an opinion.
Right.
It's a certain mindset and approach that makes all the difference.
I love that. Like having a superpower, but for websites and apps.
Yeah.
So what are these secret ingredients that make someone a testing rock star?
One thing that really stands out is a genuine curiosity about user experience.
Okay.
It's like being a detective, but for digital products.
Right.
The best testers aren't just clicking through the motions.
Right.
They're actively thinking about the user's journey, noticing the little things that might trip someone up, and suggesting ways to make the experience smoother.
So it's not just about finding what's broken. It's
Yeah.
about understanding why it's broken and how to fix it.
Exactly. And being able to articulate those observations clearly and concisely.
Okay.
Think of it this way. Imagine you're explaining a complex concept to someone who's never encountered it before.
Okay.
You wouldn't just throw jargon at them, right?
Right.
You'd break it down into simple terms, use analogies, and make sure they really understood the core idea.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just about having an opinion. It's about being able to express it in a way that's helpful and actionable for the companies.
Precisely. Another important skill is empathy.
Okay.
You need to be able to put yourself in the shoes of the target user, understand their needs and frustrations, and see the product through their eyes.
It's like method acting, but for user experience.
That's a great way to put it.
You're channeling the emotions and thought processes of the person who's actually going to be using this website or app.
And that ability to empathize leads to another crucial trait,
Okay.
attention to detail.
Okay.
Successful testers notice the nuances, the little things that might go unnoticed by the average user.
So I'm looking for those tiny cracks in the digital foundation,
Mm-hmm.
the things that might cause a user to stumble or give up altogether.
Exactly. For example, a button that's slightly off-center,
Right.
a font that's hard to read, a confusing navigation flow.
Mm-hmm.
These are all things that can negatively impact the user experience.
Okay, so I'm basically training my eyes to become laser focused on those tiny imperfections, those little things that could make or break the user's experience.
Precisely. Now, beyond the mindset and the skills,
Mm-hmm.
there's also the practical side of things.
Okay.
Successful testers treat this like a business.
All right.
They're organized, they manage their time effectively, they keep track of their earnings, and they meet deadlines.
So I'm not just a tester, I'm the CEO of my own little testing empire.
Exactly. And just like any good CEO, you need to stay informed about industry trends and best practices.
Okay.
That means reading articles, attending webinars, connecting with other testers, and constantly seeking to improve your skills.
Got it. So it's not just about learning the ropes.
Right.
It's about staying ahead of the curve and continuously evolving as a tester.
Exactly.
Now, I know you've got some actionable tips up your sleeve,
Right.
ways to actually improve my testing skills and maybe even boost those earnings.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hear it.
One of the best things you can do is practice giving constructive feedback. Pick a website or an app you use regularly and analyze it from a user experience perspective.
Okay.
What works well? What could be improved? How would you explain your observations to the developers?
It's like a dress rehearsal for the real thing.
Yeah.
I'm sharpening my feedback skills so that when I'm actually testing, I'm ready to deliver a stellar performance.
Exactly. Another great strategy is to watch recordings of other testers.
Oh, interesting.
Many platforms allow you to see how other people approach the tasks
Okay.
and provide feedback.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way to learn from different perspectives,
Right.
pick up new techniques, and get inspired.
It's like studying the masters.
Yeah.
I'm absorbing their wisdom, their insights, their testing styles, and developing my own unique approach.
And now remember how we talked about companies looking for specific demographics and experiences?
Yes.
Don't be afraid to branch out and try testing platforms that cater to different niches.
Okay.
Maybe you have a passion for gaming or you're a whiz at online shopping. Find platforms that align with your interests and leverage your expertise.
So I'm exploring the vast landscape of testing opportunities, finding the perfect fit for my skills and passions.
Exactly.
This is starting to feel less like work and more like a digital adventure.
That's great.
But let's get back to the money talk for a second.
Okay.
We know earnings can vary,
Right.
but what are some realistic expectations? What kind of income can I actually generate from this?
Remember, website and app testing is generally considered supplemental income,
Okay.
not a full-time job replacement.
Right.
Think of it as a way to earn extra cash on your own terms, with the potential to grow your income as you gain experience and build your reputation.
So don't quit my day job just yet, but definitely start exploring this as a viable side hustle.
Exactly. The amount you can earn really depends on several factors,
Mm-hmm.
including the platforms you choose, the types of tests you qualify for, how much time you're willing to invest, and the quality of your feedback. Some testers might earn a couple $100s a month, while others might earn a few thousand.
Got it. So there's a range, but the potential is definitely there, especially if I'm strategic, dedicated, and really hone my testing skills.
Exactly. And beyond the financial rewards,
Okay.
there are other benefits to consider.
Oh, like what? Spill the tea.
Well, one of the biggest perks is flexibility.
Okay.
You can test whenever you want, wherever you want, as long as you have an internet connection.
Right.
It's a great option for students, stay-at-home parents.
Mm-hmm.
or anyone who wants to earn money on their own schedule.
It's like having a side hustle that fits into my life rather than the other way around.
Yeah,
No more punching a clock or dealing with a demanding boss.
exactly. And let's not forget the satisfaction of knowing that you're contributing to something bigger than yourself.
Okay.
You're helping companies create better products for everyone, making the digital world a more user-friendly and enjoyable place.
It's like being a silent hero of the digital age, working behind the scenes, shaping the websites and apps we all use every day.
Exactly. And that sense of purpose is something that many testers find incredibly rewarding.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about the skills, the mindset, the earning potential, the flexibility,
Right.
even the feel-good factor of contributing to a better digital world.
Right.
But I'm curious, what are some of the specific types of feedback that companies are looking for? What are the key areas they want testers to focus on?
That's a great question. One area that's always top of mind for companies is navigation.
Okay.
They want to make sure their websites and apps are easy to navigate,
Right.
that users can find what they're looking for quickly and efficiently,
Mm-hmm.
and that the overall flow is intuitive and logical.
So I'm basically putting on my virtual detective hat and making sure there are no dead ends or confusing detours in the user's journey.
Another area of focus is content.
Okay.
Companies want to know if their content is clear, concise, engaging, and relevant to the target audience. They also want to make sure the language is appropriate, the tone is consistent,
Mm-hmm.
and there are no grammatical errors or typos.
So I'm not just clicking buttons. I'm also proofreading, editing, and making sure the content is top-notch.
Exactly. And then there's the visual aspect.
Uh.
The layout, the design, the imagery, the color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Companies want to create websites and apps that are visually appealing, that draw the user in, and that enhance the overall experience.
So I'm channeling my inner art critic, evaluating the aesthetics and making sure the design is on point.
You got it. And one more area that's often overlooked is accessibility.
Okay.
Companies need to make sure their digital products are accessible to everyone,
Right.
regardless of their abilities or disabilities.
Mm.
That means considering things like font size, color contrast, screen reader compatibility, and keyboard navigation.
Wow. So there's a lot more to this than I initially realized. It's not just about finding bugs or pointing out what's broken. It's about evaluating the entire user experience from multiple perspectives and providing feedback that's comprehensive, insightful, and actionable.
Exactly. And that brings us to another important aspect of testing,
Okay.
understanding different testing methodologies.
Okay, tell me more about that. What are some of the different approaches companies use to gather feedback?
Well, one common method is A/B testing.
Okay.
This involves showing different versions of a website or app to different groups of users to see which version performs better.
Okay.
For example, a company might test 2 different headlines
Right.
or 2 different layouts to see which one leads to more clicks or conversions.
So it's like a digital popularity contest?
Exactly.
They're pitting different versions against each other to see which one emerges victorious?
And as a tester, you might be asked to provide feedback on both versions,
Okay.
highlighting the pros and cons of each
Right.
and explaining why you prefer one over the other.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So I'm not just testing a single product. I'm comparing and contrasting, weighing the options, and helping companies make data-driven decisions about which version will resonate best with users.
Exactly. And that ability to analyze and compare different options is a valuable skill that will serve you well in the world of website and app testing.
This is so much more than just clicking buttons and getting paid.
Yeah.
It's like I'm unlocking a whole new way of thinking, a deeper understanding of how digital products are created and refined.
Exactly. And that's one of the things I find most rewarding about this field.
Yeah.
It's not just about earning money.
Right.
It's about expanding your knowledge, sharpening your skills, and contributing to a better digital world.
I love that. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground here,
We have.
but I know there's still more to explore.
Yeah.
We've talked about the skills, the mindset,
Mhm.
the different types of feedback, even the testing methodologies.
Right.
But what about staying informed about industry trends? How do I make sure I'm not falling behind as this digital landscape continues to evolve at warp speed?
That's a great question, and it's something that every successful tester needs to be mindful of.
Right.
The world of technology is constantly changing, so it's crucial to stay curious,
Okay.
stay open to new ideas, and never stop seeking knowledge.
Okay, so how do I actually do that? What are some practical steps I can take to stay ahead of the curve?
One of the best ways to stay informed
Okay.
is to subscribe to industry blogs and newsletters.
Okay.
There are tons of great resources out there that provide insights into the latest user experience trends,
Right.
testing methodologies, and platform updates.
It's like having a direct line to the pulse of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting the inside scoop on what's hot, what's not, and what's on the horizon.
Exactly. Another great way to learn is to attend webinars and online conferences.
Okay.
Many organizations host free or low-cost events
Right.
that feature presentations from leading experts in the field. It's a great way to expand your knowledge.
Right.
Connect with other professionals and ask questions directly to the people who are shaping the industry.
It's like getting a crash course in user experience from the comfort of my own home.
Yeah.
No travel expenses, no stuffy conference halls.
Right.
Just pure knowledge and inspiration.
Exactly. And let's not forget the power of social media.
Okay.
Follow industry thought leaders on Twitter, LinkedIn, and other platforms to get real-time updates and engage in discussions about the latest trends and challenges.
It's like having a virtual water cooler.
Right.
Where I can chat with other testers, share tips and tricks, and get inspired by each other's successes.
Remember, you're not alone on this journey.
Right.
There's a whole community of testers out there who are happy to share their knowledge and help you succeed.
I love that it's like we're all in this together, collectively shaping the digital world one test at a time.
Yeah.
Now, I know we've been talking a lot about the positive aspects of website and app testing. But before we wrap up part 2, I want to make sure we address the elephant in the room.
Right.
The potential pitfalls, the challenges, the things that might make someone say, maybe this isn't for me.
Right.
What are some of the less glamorous aspects of this gig that I need to be aware of?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's important to be realistic and understand that this isn't always going to be sunshine and roses.
Okay.
One of the biggest challenges is dealing with rejection.
Wow.
You won't qualify for every test.
Okay.
And sometimes you might spend hours applying for tests only to hear nothing back.
So it's like dating, but for websites and apps.
That's a good way to put it.
I'm putting myself out there hoping for a match, but sometimes it's just not meant to be.
And it's important to remember that this is a competitive field. There are a lot of people out there who are vying for the same testing opportunities.
Right.
So you need to be prepared to stand out from the crowd.
Got it. So it's not just about showing up. It's about showcasing my skills, my experience, my unique perspective.
Exactly. Another challenge is dealing with technical issues.
Okay.
Sometimes the testing software might glitch,
Yeah.
the website might crash, or your internet connection might drop in the middle of a test.
Oh, the joys of technology. So I need to be patient, adaptable, and have a good troubleshooting strategy in my back pocket.
Precisely. And it's also important to manage your time effectively.
Okay.
Sometimes you might have a lot of tests available, and it can be tempting to try to cram them all in.
Right.
But remember, quality over quantity.
Yeah.
It's better to do a few tests well than to rush through a bunch of them and provide subpar feedback.
So it's all about finding that sweet spot between maximizing my earnings and maintaining a high standard of quality.
Exactly. And finally, it's important to be aware of the potential for scams.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are some unscrupulous individuals out there who prey on people who are looking to make money online. Be wary of any platform or individual that asks for personal information upfront, guarantees high earnings, or seems too good to be true.
Okay, so I'm keeping my guard up, doing my research, and making sure I'm partnering with reputable platforms and individuals. Safety first.
Exactly. And remember, if something seems fishy,
Right.
it probably is.
Yeah.
Trust your instincts and don't be afraid to walk away if something doesn't feel right.
All right. I am feeling informed, empowered, and maybe even a little bit cautious, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground in part 2.
We have.
From the skills and mindset to the challenges and potential pitfalls.
Right?
But before we move on to part 3, where we'll delve into even more strategies for success,
Okay.
let's take a quick moment to reflect on everything we've discussed so far.
Right.
I'm curious, what are some of the key takeaways that our listeners should be thinking about as they embark on this website and app testing adventure?
That's a great question. I think one of the most important things to remember is that this is a journey, not a destination. There's always something new to learn, new skills to develop, and new challenges to overcome.
So it's not just about getting from point A to point B.
Right.
It's about enjoying the ride, embracing the learning process,
Yeah.
and constantly evolving as a tester.
Exactly. And remember, you're not alone on this journey.
Right.
There's a whole community of testers out there
Right.
who are happy to share their knowledge, support each other, and celebrate successes.
I love that it's like we're all part of this digital ecosystem working together to make the online world a better place for everyone.
Exactly. And that sense of community and shared purpose
Yeah.
is what makes this such a rewarding and fulfilling field.
Okay. I'm feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to tackle part 3.
Awesome.
But for now, let's take a little break, recharge our batteries, and come back ready to dive even deeper into the world of website and app testing.
Sounds good to me. We'll be back soon with more insights, tips, and strategies to help you unlock your full testing potential.
Welcome back. We've explored a lot about website and app testing.
Yeah, we have.
But before we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
let's talk about something really important. Separating fact from fiction.
Right.
There are so many myths swirling around about this whole testing thing.
Yeah. Right.
And I want to make sure we clear the air.
Yeah, sounds good.
What's the biggest myth you encounter?
One that always comes up is that you need to be a tech wizard to be a successful tester.
Okay.
People imagine that you need to code in your sleep or speak fluent JavaScript,
Right.
but that's just not true.
So you don't need to be building the next social media platform
Right.
to give valuable feedback.
Not at all. Companies are looking for everyday users
Okay.
with a variety of backgrounds and experiences.
That makes sense.
They want to know how real people interact with their products,
Mm-hmm.
not just tech experts.
So it's like asking a chef to taste test a new recipe.
Yeah,
You don't need to be a culinary school graduate to know if the flavors work.
exactly. Another myth is that all testing platforms are created equal. Some might have a better reputation, offer higher pay, or specialize in certain niches.
Right.
It's important to do your research
Mm-hmm.
and find the platforms that align with your interests and goals.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Right.
I should shop around, read reviews,
Yeah,
find the platform that feels like the right fit for me.
absolutely. Now, perhaps the biggest myth of all,
Okay.
that website and app testing is a get-rich-quick scheme.
Right.
We've talked about this a bit already,
Here we have.
but it's worth repeating.
Okay.
This is a great way to earn supplemental income,
Mm-hmm.
a flexible side hustle,
Right.
but it's unlikely to make you a millionaire overnight.
All right. No private island for me just yet.
Not yet.
But seriously, it's good to have those expectations in check from the start.
Exactly. Success in this field, like anything else,
Mm-hmm.
requires time, effort, a willingness to learn,
Right.
and a bit of patience.
I hear that. Now I want to zoom out for a second
Okay.
and touch on something bigger than just earning potential. In a world that's completely dominated by tech,
Right.
user experience is king.
Yeah.
Companies are finally starting to realize that if their products aren't easy and enjoyable to use, they're going to lose customers.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you, as a tester,
Right.
play a really vital role.
Okay.
You have the power to influence the design of the products we interact with every single day,
Wow.
to make the online world more user-friendly for everyone.
That's an incredible thought.
Yeah.
I'm not just making a few extra bucks.
Right.
I'm actually contributing to a better digital experience for all of us.
Exactly. Think about all the websites and apps you use on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Now imagine if they were all designed with the user in mind.
Right.
If they were intuitive, accessible, and truly enjoyable to use.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of impact you can have as a website and app tester.
Wow, that's a really powerful way to frame it. I'm suddenly feeling a lot more motivated and excited about this whole testing gig.
I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Remember, you're not just clicking buttons.
Mm-hmm.
You're shaping the digital landscape.
Right.
You're making your voice heard, and you're getting paid to do it.
Amazing. I'm ready to embrace my inner digital detective
Yeah.
and make the online world a better place, one test at a time. And that, my friend, wraps up our deep dive into the world of website and app testing.
It's been a pleasure.
If you're feeling inspired to give website and app testing a try, we've got a ton of resources in the show notes
Yeah, definitely.
to help you get started.
And remember, we're all in this together. There's a vibrant community of testers out there.
Yeah.
So don't hesitate to connect, ask questions, and share your experiences.
Until next time, happy testing.